Start there. There we go. So 3, 2, and 1. Well, Mayor Doug, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. Always appreciate you making time, especially in a busy week like this, being able to squeeze us in here. Give us an idea of what it is you've got going on this week. I know we've got a big thing, or had a big thing last Monday to honor a former alderman on the council.
Peckham Way,
Yes.
Sure. Pat Peckham was an avid biker, avid advocate for bike trails. He was our, I guess, call him resident beekeeper. He did some beekeeping over on the airport. He did some of the good news trips to St. Lucia. So he was an all around. He was a wood turner. He made me a pen you see on my desk there, that fountain pen out of some knotty pine. And I used to text him every once in a while. It still smells like pine. It's gassing off pine, and it still does. Not quite as much as when he first made it for me. But so Peckham Way is the new trail piece from connects from Thomas Street down to Adolph Street around the backside of our wastewater treatment plant. It's an asphalt trail, and we're going to dedicate that today. Do a little ribbon cutting. Actually, we dedicated that last week, and it's a great day, good turnout. Looking forward to doing more biking on that.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of kind of a grander or a greater plan to connect the north and south ends of the city along the river there. I know that's something that has kind of been a priority for the city over the last few years.
Right, and it's one of our greatest assets is the river, and it's an attractant to our downtown, to the city. And if we can traverse that on bikes, on foot, it's a great place for families to go walk, come into our businesses. So I think it's a force multiplier, if you will, to have these trails, and Peckham Way is going to be just one extension, and that'll get us. The next leg will be down to the DC Evers Park, further down the way.
So when this is all done, what is the goal? Is it kind of to have so many miles of trail connected that you don't have to worry about crossing very many streets on if you use them? Is that kind of it?
Well, there's a couple of things. The trail along the river is really more to highlight that feature. It'd be nice to have it all the way down to the south end of the airport, all the way up to I forgot the name, Gilbert Park, and maybe beyond, even up to, eventually they talk maybe get it up toward Merrill. But that piece really is to enjoy the riverfront. We'd like to do that east side, west side, and then the other connecting stuff around the city. That's a bigger goal, bigger mission. But the immediacy of utilizing our asset along the river there, I think makes sense. It's been 50 years. I think we talked about this a few Mayor's Mondays ago. 50 years since the city council adopted that plan and that mission to move industry off the river, replace it with recreation, living, quality of life things. And that's where we are in this step along the way, and I think this is a good step in the right direction.
So what, from your view then, what is it about having the recreation trails there along the river? Is it just the piece of being by the water? Is it or is it something else?
Well, no, it's all of the above. We have, if you talk to the CVB, to Tim White, to the Chamber, the things that draw people to Wausau are outdoor recreation opportunities, our outdoor beauty. I'll throw the buzzwords out there again. We're the gateway to the north. We're Wisconsin's base camp, if you use the visitor center. We're the crossroads of commerce. And one of the key things, if you look at Appleton, Green Bay, San Antonio, is they all have bodies of water connected to their downtown. So it's a river walk. We have a downtown. We tie all those together with the trails, and now we are an attractant. Why would you come here to do a visit or a trip, a vacation, or bring an event to the 400 block, or bring it to one of our convention centers? You bring it in. AirVenture Copper is a good example. We filled the Jefferson Street in, over 100 airplanes and the associated pilots. They didn't come in here with a car. They flew in. They love the being able to traverse and walk and enjoy our downtown and our river walk. So those are the kind of things that and the quality of life for us living here. I like to go there. My wife does. My daughter pushes our grandson in the stroller. Those are the kind of things you do in a community like ours that has those amenities.
Then as far as development goes on the river, obviously there's still a few parcels there that are up for grabs. What's the progress on getting those filled through the Economic Development Office?
So we're working with Vanguard, and that's a unit that we don't have a developer's agreement yet, but that'll be coming up to be the next step to get that approved. So it's like we talked about, the Foundry is a catalyst project. Once you get one or two going, others will follow. So I think the Vanguard is going to be a follow-on, and there'll be follow-ons to that. We're improving the parking situation up by the athletic park, so we're going to have parking up there. I just toured Bridge Community Clinic. I'm sorry. They've got plans up along that area. We're looking to take down the old water treatment plant. By the way, the fire department was just down there doing some training. So we're getting some utilization out of that section, but it would be nice to have that water treatment plant gone, and then we can envision what goes there next.
And as far as athletic park parking goes, that's something that's been decades in the making. You want to talk about something getting done at the speed of government. That's something that I'm sure Mark McDonald is happy to see. What is the plan with that?
Right. Well, so the number of, I guess this would go back, you mentioned a decade, but we should never get in a position where we're writing checks we can't cash. And I think we did that, and or didn't have the planning and wherewithal to follow through on it. We're going to give them the parking that was promised. There's other ideas about, well, what else could go up there and utilize and take advantage of that? Could we have a sports zone, if you call it? There's another term for it.
A district, maybe.
A sports district, something like that. Potential ice rink. Somebody had floated the idea. Little League. So we do need to war game what that looks like. But obviously, if we're going to put parking in for one, it's public parking that other businesses could utilize. So once we get some clarity on getting those buildings down, I think we have mapped out where the parking will go. It's satisfactory to the city, satisfactory to the athletic park and the entities that lease that. We brought in, Mark and the Woodchucks brought in the Ignite, so we have women's softball. So we've doubled capacity up there, doubled utilization. So now it starts to make sense to pay off that parking, put lighting in, make it an attractant again. You want to come to a state-of-the-art facility. Be nice to have state-of-the-art, or at least comfortable parking within walking distance.
I've been to many games out there this summer. I'm okay with parking on a grassy field like that for a minor league baseball game and you taking the walk, but it would still be just take it up a notch if it's paved out, if it's marked out, makes you feel a little better about parking there. And I know it's something that Mark has wanted for quite some time.
Right. And it's like I used to go to the Greenleaf Firemen's Picnic down in southern Brown County. Or church, but you'd park in the grass, you parked in the field. This is a modern facility, high tech, convertibles to softball. Let's finish it off with parking as a memorable experience, so that it feels like, hey, this is big city stuff.
One more thing before we let you go, as far as your proposal to switch Wausau's form of government to a city manager form with an elected city council. It's been a couple months since we've had a chance to talk about this. So where are we on that? I know you wanted to assemble kind of a task force to investigate. Are we at that stage yet?
Sure. So I've got a few people identified for the task force. What I've been doing now, I've talked to a few organizations, League of Municipalities, and other cities. Believe it or not, there's more cities with a professional manager or administrator than there are without. Of the 16 or 17 Class 2 cities, all but 5 of them have the professional management. So I think the trend is moving in that direction. And what I should promise here, lay out, is that I will have a timeline of when we will have certain benchmarks made. Yeah, I just showed you some research that I did back in 2014, 2015, where they did assemble a panel. They came out with 3 different options. You have the strong mayor option that we have now, you have a mayor / administrator, or you have a city manager with council. So basically those are the 3 known options. What fits best for Wausau? What does that job description look like for Wausau? So we'll flesh that out and then get it to council so they can make a decision.
And you said to kind of assemble this task force. Do you know what the makeup is going to look like yet? Is it going to be 4, 5, 6 people?
Probably in the area of 5 or 6. We'll have some business owners. I really want some professional municipal managers who are already in the business, that have the degrees, that understand what that brings to the table. And we'll have some maybe a former mayor. We'll have some legal people. So it'll be a cross section, but probably slanted toward municipal expertise.
And obviously with a task force like this, the one thing that everybody might look at is, okay, is the mayor just going to pack this with the yes men or the yes women just to try and get the result that he wants? I'm guessing you don't want that. You maybe more want the conversation to be had instead of just all of a sudden everybody saying, yeah, Doug's right about this.
Well, so that's the biggest component, is the proper presenting and education. So we've already gotten, when I announced pushback from alders, they don't want to cooperate. Most of them, some of them don't. So we've already heard, we don't need it. Residents turned it down. Well, that was 10 years ago and it was a narrow vote. Was it the right format at that time? Did we select the right option? I propose the city manager. If we decide that the part-time mayor / administrator is more of a better option, and I could be convinced that is. I think the key is, can we bring some professionalism to the management of the daily administrative tasks? The mayor should be looking at a vision, the future, and policy, whereas the day-to-day tasks of executing, disciplining, the supervisory functions, that should be a professional municipal manager, and that would put some continuity in the organization structure. And I believe that's either one of those choices would be the better route.
Yeah, because, as I'm sure, and I'll just think of one example here that comes to mind off the top of my head. When you're in these negotiations with tax increment financing, economic development, I'll say the development agreement contracts, an elected mayor might not be speaking the same language as some of those developers. I'm sure that's something that you probably had to learn pretty quick, not only from your time on the council, but from the year plus you've been in this office right now.
Sure. And I saw some alders state that, and that we've never had a decent mayor, or I think one alder said that the last mayor was better than the prior 3 combined. So, and obviously that person doesn't like me, so that tells me that the last 5 mayors, they only liked 1. So this notion that you can vote out the mayor and get a good mayor, Not that any of these mayors were not good, it's that the consistency of their professional education and expertise in municipal management is not there. Perfect example is how many iterations of manager did you hear from the prior mayor, from Mayor Rosenberg? We talked about maybe we needed a communications director up here, maybe we needed a chief of staff, which if you think about it, chief of staff is kind of administrator light. So she was trying to be creative and work around it a little bit. I think we need to embrace it, acknowledge that we've had these issues for quite some time, going back to 2015, going back to the previous mayor. Mayor Katie was trying to figure out how do we get some more professional staff in City Hall, and it was resisted, but let's look at it in the context of, did it make sense? Do you understand why she was asking? Do you understand why I am asking? Do you understand why maybe staff is asking? And let's not just dismiss it until we actually look at those options, hear the professionals, hear where it's working. The city of De Pere, they just went from administrator to city manager. Eau Claire has had a city manager for decades. Oshkosh. So there are good examples out there. I think Beaver Dam is they just switched to an administrator, and they now have an interim, and they're looking for a full-time administrator. So I've had an opportunity to network with some of these people. We'll bring them in here. They can tell us the pros, the cons, what worked well, so we can get it right when we do it.
All right. Well, we always appreciate the time, Mayor Doug, and we'll look forward to chatting again next month.
Michael, welcome anytime.